Hello, and welcome to part 14 of the Megaman Zero 3 playthrough. We're about to take on the final stage. It's been a long road, but we're at the end of it now, so it's all good. We're equipping the Ultima foot chip that we got from Phantom in the last stage. It allows us to use all the foot chip abilities at the same time. Now, the most important of those are, of course, the double jump and shadow dash features, but we also get the added bonus of running faster, slowing down our wall sliding, jumping on water, the whole shebang. So we're about to go take on Wild and Omega in their secret underground base of death and destruction. Totally not cliché. Now, the Zero series is this weird tradition where CL thinks the last level is more dangerous than all the other crap Zero's been through throughout the entire game and the entire series. And as such, cries out our name. Very emotionally, I'm sure. Now, there's a giant door in the background here. It really doesn't do anything, and it's never explained, it's just kind of there. So we don't get to know what it is, but it doesn't really matter. I grind for enemy points a bit there. That's because I don't want a repeat of last stage where I have to redo the entire thing because I didn't get a perfect score. This stage is actually pretty short, if not for the boss rush. Yes, there's a boss rush. It's a Mega Man game, what do you expect? It'll only be about 2 or 3 minutes long, mostly platforming with a couple enemies thrown in. But we're almost at the first part of the boss rush, and I'm going to cut out here. See ya and enjoy. And we're back. The song used there was Crash on the Big Bridge by the Black Mages. We've seen all those bosses before, so I figured, why not make it more entertaining by speeding up the battle and adding some epic music to it. So I hope you enjoyed. Now, this part of the stage is kinda weird. First of all, it's just added to pad out the stage, and it artificially increases its length. Otherwise, it would be mostly boss rush. The floor here is made of ice. And it really doesn't do anything that you'd expect ice to do. Like, it doesn't alter your running mechanics, you don't slide, and it's just kind of there. I've always thought of this as Neo Arcadia's Freezer. Because it suffers from action video game syndrome. Nothing in the game seems to have any practical purpose to the evil empire or whatever. Now, these security lasers are back from Copy X Mark II's stage, a little throwback, seeing as his stage was the only one that had them, so I guess Neo Arcadia has sole rights to security lasers in their bases. But I'm going to cut out here again for the second part of the boss rush. And there you have it. All 8 of them handled with grace, finesse, and style, as only Zero can. Yeah, those bosses are all exactly the same as they were in their own respective stages. The only differences between them is they get another little blurb of introductory dialogue, and they're all shown in their normal forms before the bosses, which means you got to see Childer Inarobita's and whatever Calvarian's normal forms. Inarobita's is a little boy, and it's always kind of creeping me out a bit. But that's actually the end of the stage. We're at the final boss. Quick, huh? Now we're switching back to our normal body form here, because it just adds that little bit of nostalgia, seeing Zero in his normal red form. Unfortunately, we can't switch him back to red and white like he was in the X series, but, you know. That's a very obtuse monitor. Why is it shaped like a brain? And it's covered with all those different screens. They're all different sizes and different places. Is Wile's face on all of those? It just seems inconvenient. Warning, big reveal coming up. What? Human. Yes, folks, it turns out that Wile was in fact a human. If you didn't already know that. See, when I first played this, I looked at him, and he looks so radically different from all the other robots and stuff in the game, that I just naturally assumed this guy was a human. But apparently the game assumes you assume he's not, and as such, we get this nice little reveal. Yeah, Wile's a human, if you care. This whole thing's just here to show that Zero, unlike classic Mega Man, has no qualms whatsoever about kicking the butt out of a human. Great line, Matt. I always imagine Omega saying that in the gayest voice possible. I mean, just look at his clothes. Bright gold, purple and blue accents, and a gigantic purple frill on the top. And for this boss battle, his sword is unsheathed. Why he had sheathed in the first place, I don't know. Now, this boss is rather weird. He's actually almost exactly like he was in the introductory stage. So we're fighting an intro boss as one of the final bosses. Oh, I mean, as the final boss. Totally not. Multiple final bosses. This isn't an action game or anything. The only differences are he gets that extra gray health bar, which is just another 4 saber slashes. On his third of these stabs, he sends out debris there. And he's just overall a little faster. Otherwise, though, he's exactly the same. Even his attacks are the same. And you should have no trouble whatsoever. And his sword breaks and his hands fall below the screen for whatever reason. Are we on a catwalk? Because otherwise that makes no sense whatsoever. Part 2. Prepare for eye-rape. Just a warning. Holy crap, what's going on in the background here? Now, I've heard much conjecture about this boss. Obviously, 2 of those things are X and Zero. Some people think the third one is supposed to be Sigma. Others wonder why the hell a Sigma head would be on here. But anyway, it's a cool-looking boss regardless. Now, he was supposed to be a heck of a lot cooler, but because of this GBA's screen restrictions, they were unable to implement him fully. See that big freaking sword in the background? Yeah, he never uses it, because they just can't animate on the GBA's screen. This guy's pretty darn huge, it's hard to miss him, so he should go down fairly quickly. His attacks can be a little hard to dodge. That laser attack, X always shoots out the furthest, and Zero the closest. This one you have to lure it out a bit before jumping over it. But all of his attacks are projectile-based. Stay toward the left except when you're attacking him, and you should be cool. And Zero starts falling off the platform now, for whatever reason. And this scene looks familiar. If you played the first game, that is. Except there wasn't fire in the background there. And just to push the point further, here's a little screenshot of Zero. Yes, back when he was sleeping, with his arms ripped off and his head caved in and all that crap. Best nap ever. Now, big plot point of the game. I love this little theme. Yes, folks, Zero was a fake. I don't know why he's so surprised, seeing as people throughout the game have been telling him he's a fake. But regardless, this guy is the real Zero. At least in body. his mind is just some random program Weil cooked up. But regardless, this is your body from the X series. The one you have been playing as throughout the Zero series so far is a fake. Unfortunately, they didn't take the obvious route and make Omega red and white like he was in the X series. Very bad miscalculation on their part, I think. But he's a darker shade of red, his white spike things are longer and sharper, and he's probably better endowed. Unfortunately, he's still wearing a thong, which is quite unfortunate for a bloodthirsty god of destruction. This boss can be a little hard, but I'm going to showcase how he can also be quite easy. The translation of that line is, "I am the Messiah." It would be an awesome line if it wasn't for the gay laughter after that. For some reason his saber is purple, apparently yours is the real saber at least. This fight is very, very reminiscent of the fights against Zero in the X series. He uses a bunch of attacks from that series, such as the Rakuhoha, the Rising Dragon Sword, whatever it's called, the Punching the Ground move, all that crap. He also uses your own moves and can combo you, just like you can combo bosses with your saber. Basically, try not to jump too much and you should be fine. Jumping is what usually gets people on this guy. But, shot in the face. Quite a poor ending for such a bloodthirsty god of destruction. And Omega just got raped. No damage. And I end that stage, the final one, with a perfect score, finishing the game with an average of 97 points. I will see you next time for the epilogue.